coming up to the camera.
Maybe that's why they're on that side.
Look at these guys. Ooh. Yeah, that sounded like something in pain. That one. It was like a dying bird or something. There we go.
Oh, I got
That could definitely be something.
a bunch of them right behind me.
People must be getting great shots underwater.
Yeah.
We're getting the odd photo coming in.
Right there.
Whoops.
Oh, there's one right there.
There's one coming this way.
I don't know what it
One
keeps.
right behind us. Now he's gone. Oh, hello there.
The blowhole looks huge, right?
Yeah.
Look how they're sort of surfing.
Yeah.
I've seen more of their tails today than normal.
Yeah.
It's weird. They're turning their tails up at us.
There we go. Oh, man.
Oh man, this is a
Oh.
good group. Woo!
There we go. Right to the.
So well for that kind of stuff.
Grab my phone out here and snap a picture. Nope, and the whales are gone.
Yep.
Oh boy. There's some right here.
Oh, they're being attracted by the other boats now.
Yeah. Oh, they're heading over to the fort. This is Lazy Bear. Yeah, they're usually the ones that come over in like a fleet of Zodiacs.
Oh yeah, that one does got a
intimidating, like
big indentation on his
shore,
forehead.
and then seeing like 4 Zodiacs all coming at you, and you know it's like those are all full of people, and I'm doing a tour for all of them.
Lots of pictures coming in.
Are there?
Yeah, they're just coming up. They come like I can click on them to view them. It's tough to.
They stay on the site, don't they?
Yep.
So we can go in after and pluck some.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be the gallery. You'll see snapshot gallery on.
You know what I could do, Kieran, is I'll text you that picture of the bear I took.
Oh, that'd be.
Post it?
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Get it up on the.
I would totally grab that picture if you put it up somewhere.
It's
I want
sweet.
that picture. It is so nice.
I took 2. One has the rocks as the backdrop, and one has the trees as the backdrop.
Yeah.
So I can. I'll send that to you.
Do you know Simon G? We had him out on the boat. He's come to Churchill the past 13 years. He's from the UK.
Simon G?
Yeah, and he's a photographer. He's got a website. I think it's canuckimages.com. But his gallery of bear shots and northern lights are phenomenal. Like he's got some unreal pictures.
Yeah.
He was out on Tundra Buggy like I think each year that he's been coming. So he's just had some great opportunities to take some real amazing photos. I was trying to learn some tips and tricks from him because I'm pretty green with all that kind of stuff, and it's frustrating when you come to a place like this, even through the winter, where you have so many opportunities, and you go home, and because you can't see on your LCD screen if the picture's good or not, and then you blow it up and realize it's blurry or out of focus.
You gotta get comfortable with manual settings.
And that's what I've been doing.
Know what to do.
Yeah.
Know where your focus is and know your composition.
Yeah.
Well, and it's your exposure as well.
Yeah, exposure's a big part.
Yeah, because you get a lot of white here.
Yeah, that one's usually not too hard because you set your exposure with a couple test pictures and then you're good.
I adjust it constantly.
Really?
Yeah, it depends where the sun is. It depends what your background is.
I find
Depends how
I'm
much
usually
white there
good
is.
with just small adjustments after I get a good test exposure. You know, I figure out what kind of lighting I want, what kind of contrast, and
Yeah.
I work from there. I don't know. I don't do professional photography though, so.
As long as you get
Yeah.
some good shots, that's good. You need good equipment here. Here you need some good lenses. Like I've got it was a 300. No, I actually didn't even have a 300 on. If I'd had my 300 on when I took that shot of the bear, I would have got his nose.
Oh yeah.
It was that close.
I just got a wide angle, then the stock lens that it came with, and then
Yeah.
I think it's a 70 by 300. Pardon?
Some cameras have really good stock lenses though.
I have it's a Rebel T4i. It's a decent camera, I think. I don't know. And then I got a new lens, a zoom lens for today, or I mean, not today, this year. And yeah, you just got to take loads of pictures too to get comfortable using the camera. And the worst is when you're taking pictures the night before of northern lights, and then all of a sudden you see a caribou or a red fox or something. You're like, awesome, go to take a picture, and click 10, 9. You're like, no. Fidgeting around with it, trying to get it reset.
Yeah.
Well, on something like Northern Lights, you need a tripod. You cannot even attempt it without a tripod.
No, that's
You need to know how to manipulate your camera.
The f-stop is the big thing, isn't it, with the Northern Lights, is your exposure time and your aperture.
Like I find that it depends how much they're moving, like how much. So sometimes like 15, 20 second exposure.
Yeah. The ones up here are just so fluttering that they just turn to blur.
And that's where your screen on the back is not that. Sometimes you have like at the study center here, the Churchill Northern Study Center. There's a big upper level deck you can do Aurora from. Yeah. So what I do is I run back to my room and download a couple of shots just to see, because sometimes they're
if
really
your
not
settings
that
are
sharp.
correct.
And
yeah.
if they're not sharp, then they're not. I mean, it's nice to have it, but.
Yeah.
I seen, because I was wondering, I was like, man, why can't they get any of these pictures people are getting? But I didn't realize they're taking it in RAW format and then they're like brightening them up.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. So I was like, God, I've seen some of the most amazing Northern Lights this year, and I just I was taking so many pictures, but none of them were coming out that vivid. But yeah, I guess I'm not editing any of them, so that makes a difference too.
Post makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Even just little ones like just cropping an image properly.
Yeah.
Can make a huge difference.
Yeah. I want to get a macro lens too. I love taking those kinds of pictures. I like moss and lichen and all that kind of stuff. And if you're in BC on the coast and everything's so lush, the little plants, and I love that stuff.
Yeah. I've gotten some really good shots of lichen around here. Even with just like a phone camera, you can get good macro shots with the kind of lichen we have here.
Yeah.
You just can't get as close as you would like sometimes. So.
Need to get a
good amateur macro, bad professional.
Yeah. I need to get like a Pelican case, because pretty soon you end up with so much gear and lenses and things that you're.
Pretty soon you're that guy with the extra backpack just for your camera stuff.
I know, it makes it hard when you're traveling. And you're so paranoid about all of it, like you don't want it to be stolen or. Yeah. Or you don't want to check the bags, just in case someone's throwing it around or mishandling your luggage, or. Man, that sun would sure be awesome if it decided to make an appearance.
Yeah. Well.
It doesn't look like it's going to. It just had sunny skies.
Like it's gonna keep skimming the edge of the clouds to just keep itself off us. Thanks, sun. Really appreciate it. What's the time? 10 after 9.
Yeah, they're coming straight for us. There's one right behind the boat too. So do you think you'll have an opportunity to go back on that research boat ever? You're like, are you planning on it, or are you hoping to go back out?
I don't think I'll really get the opportunity to, unless I somehow get with a similar program.
What work were you doing on the boat? Like, what were you helping with?
Basically, I was doing grunt work for all the researchers, so I was helping them pull samples all the time, and doing stuff like filter or sort, because I can't really do the analysis myself, given that I don't have the training.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do stuff like wash down the nets and collect the zooplankton samples, and then help sort different species.
Oh, okay.
And all that, because that one is easy. You just have someone point that out.
Is there lots of that out there, like the plankton and stuff? Is there?
Yeah, it's actually, there's a lot of like life out there in the water. You look at the Hudson Bay and it doesn't look very much like it's teeming with life, really.
Isn't part of that because of all the fresh water that's flooding into the bay? Like it alters the salinity, and maybe it's not as.
Yeah, it really reduces salinity in the bay. Like ocean water is like 3% salinity or something. Bay is usually around 2.6 or so. And it also gets lots of nutrients from these rivers. So you pull in tons of plankton, zooplankton, tons of phytoplankton. You do a bottom trawl and you just see stars everywhere. You get crabs, scallops, all sorts of stuff.
Really?
We got a sponge a couple times.
Sampling any of those crabs or scallops?
Yeah, we had
lucky.
A girl from, I think, University of Laval was doing benthic organisms, and so basically doing counts.
What kind of crabs, do you know?
No, I don't.
Really? Oh man, scallops are delicious though too.
Yeah.
So are they surprised there's not like more bowheads, or were you guys just unlucky and didn't see any?
Oh, the whales and stuff?
Because that's what they're eating all is.
You're just sort of unlucky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because with that many, you'd think there'd be a load of them, or more, but I guess, it's a big area, as we just discovered.
Hurrying around in a large and pretty loud boat too, though.
Yeah.
So, like, very loud boat.
Scare them off. You'll see the behavior with the belugas even here. Just clicking the motor in and out of neutral and then into gear, they'll just they shoot straight down and they start to chirp and stuff. Like they're very in tune and aware of the boats in the area. Lots of times you're driving around and you're like, oh, I guess there's no whales in this spot, and then you slow down or come to a stop and all of a sudden they just start popping up.
Yeah.
So I can imagine with the bowheads out there, any other whales, that they'd be maybe just heading the other direction if they hear something like that coming along.
Like that ship is loud enough above deck, like almost deafening in some areas, but below the water, I can't even imagine how loud everything would be.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to figure out a way to take some trip further up the coast, or anything, like if there's anybody out there that was doing some sort of job, or let me know. I'm looking for an excuse to stick around Churchill as long as possible.
What's it called? Yeah, it's interesting though, seeing the coast, like talking about going up the coast. The east coast, very rocky, hilly and all that. Like, the rocks back there at Cape Mary, it's like that, but entire hills. It's just, not the Precambrian rock.
Mm-hmm. They like Mount Ward?
Yeah, kind of like over there, looks like. But, west coast is mostly flat and, like, sedimenty and
the barrens.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was just taking pictures of the coast the entire way up, because it was just so weird to me that there was actual, like, cliffs and stuff on the coast. And
I guess,
hills, yeah.
So you guys covered a lot of ground then, if you're on both sides, eh?
No, we didn't. I flew over.
Oh, yeah,
I fly over the west coast of the bay quite often, because, flying out of Churchill, you gotta hit Rankin first.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you got to see lots of the territory out here.
Yeah.
That's good. It's even, we were at the CNSC and we were there, BJ and Tim were working on some of the electronics, like for the Aurora cam that they have out there, all that stuff, and I climbed up just to hand them zip ties, basically. Like, I don't know, those guys are speaking another language and they start talking about electronics. but just getting up that high, and so I'd been out there last winter and was going out to Ritchie Lake and stuff on our skidoos.
Yeah.
And I just knew everything is, just frozen over snow, and that was it. But getting up on that tower and seeing out just the water, the land out there, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's you can never navigate through that. God, I don't know how you'd make it through.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Ponds and sloughs and lakes everywhere, and
yeah. Well, there's a reason people use the beach ridges in like the park to travel.
Yeah.
They're the easiest way. They're the actual only dry bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been out to Wilpus National Park yet?
No.
Yeah, if you go out there, it's like basically all marsh. Surface area, it's like by surface area, it's 50% water.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
pretty
have
crazy.
to use like beach ridges to travel out there.
Yeah.
Because you can't walk otherwise.
It's like the largest area with peat moss too, isn't it, in the world?
One of the largest, yeah.
We talked a little bit about that because people, I had my aquaponics system that we were talking about, and when I was getting the seeds germinating and stuff, instead of using, because you could buy the little bricks of moss or of peat, you could actually get shredded up like coconut husk now, and it does the same thing as a grow media to get your seeds to germinate, or use the little cubes of rock wool. But no, that stuff takes a long time to grow and replenish if you start to harvest it. It's cool that they have so much of it out here. It's like walking on a weird spongy waterbed thing or something.
At the right times of year, when it's like soaked full of water, but not enough that when you step on it, the water squishes out. It's kind of like a trampoline.
Yeah.
You can bounce up and down on there.
You go down, because some of it was like up north in Red Earth. I talked about you step in it and you like sink like 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
It's like kind of...
Even just around town, there's areas where you'll sink this much, stepping into the moss.
Yeah, it's crazy. That much material or biomatter or whatever.
Yeah, up by the graveyard, I know there's a couple patches there, real thick moss. You just step in and you sink.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's some belugas there.
I'm gonna flip around again so we don't reach that buffering area.
Yeah. We're just doing circuits here.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of where the bulk of the whales are today.
Yeah.
I'm looking around a little bit and I don't see. We got one behind us now.
Real young one.
But don't see. With the waves, it's a little more tricky to tell, but.
Sounds like they might have seen a bear.
Oh yeah.
On your.
They're chattering about it out at Eskimo Point there. Someone, Jurgen just posted "Here Comes the Sun" by George Harrison.
Yeah. I wish.
Yeah.
I was in Gypsies yesterday, just sort of at the tail end of the eclipse, and Fred was playing all these, eclipse type songs. It was hilarious.
Oh my god. Still mad we couldn't see that yesterday.
I seen a picture online today, I think it was on Instagram. They took a photo when the eclipse was happening, and you could see the silhouette of the space station.
Oh, that's cool.
In the sun, like the...
Oh.
Yeah.
That is friggin' cool.
It actually, when I first seen it, I was like, it looked, like the sunspots.
Yeah.
It looked like that, and then you look and like, it looks like a Canadian flag almost because of the huge panels out the sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could just see the silhouette of the space station.
Was that a NASA?
I think probably, yeah. Maybe because they had a plane up. NASA had one of their out over the ocean, like filming when the eclipse first started to happen.
There's one picture where the eclipse is right at the horizon. The reflection on the water.
No. Yeah, it's cool. I like just seeing the complete eclipse. It's neat looking. It'd be nice to see that one day.
Definitely.
There's a honker of a wave.
Oh boy, those are some waves.
They might get bigger too when the tide starts going out.
Yeah, when it starts sucking water out of here.
And just when it's shallower over there, it'll break.
But that's how the standing waves work when the water's pushing at them. That's when it goes down and back up.
Well, you get the wind coming this way and the water going that way, and
and
then plus the current of the river going with the tide going out.
Have you ever seen the wedge? I think they call them a wedge. when you get so much, the waves are coming in, there's such big waves washing in, it creates a wave going out, and then they glide.
Oh,
and if you're on a little boogie board, it like launches you up out of the water. Those are pretty cool too.
Yeah. Those are cool.
I think the Sea North people took the belugas out with them.
Yeah. Stole all our whales. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if we can spot anymore.
You got any interesting conversation while we're just sitting here?
Not to be put on the spot at all.
Yeah.
No pressure though.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
There's another big one.
Let me just shove this microphone in your face.
Yeah. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, well, my hand's sort of locked up around here.
It's a little chilly.
It's frozen.
Yeah. It's not worth it trying to open my hand now.
Deal with that later.
Yeah. Maybe go have myself a hot drink afterwards.
Yeah, I go, when you're leaving this early in the morning, I don't want to drink coffee because then I don't have to pee out here early all that much. So I avoid that, but that's first thing on the list when I get home is making up some coffee. And
yeah. Well, I have this hot chocolate back home. It's this heritage hot chocolate, and it's like some old recipe from York Factory. It is so good.
Oh, really?
It's got like peppers and stuff in it. The only thing I don't like
is
about
it the spicy stuff?
It's not spicy. It's just like 18th century style.
Oh.
So before they figured out, you know, how to add sweetener, how to sweeten chocolate.
Yeah.
So it's still sort of bitter. They add peppers for flavor and stuff. And
Cool. I like the...
Where'd you get it?
Parks. They're selling it.
Is that what Heather was talking? They make chocolate too, or they used to with this chili in it?
Yeah, they make little chocolates still like that. And
love
I
that
thought I was
stuff.
buying those when I bought this thing, but no, it was hot chocolate. But you know what? I'm enjoying it anyway.
Does Parks still have those buffs?
Yeah,
those
we do.
The Parks logo with a polar fleece inside them?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, they're awesome.
Oh, I think we're out of the ones with the polar fleece, so it's just the like buff only now.
Is that at the train station, all this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to come buy some of that chocolate. I love
Yeah.
spicy chocolate. And
The study center has polar fleece buffs with an aurora on them.
What's a
Nice.
buff? Is that just like a
Like
necky?
this kind of thing around my neck,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
like a tube. So this one has no polar fleece, but the study center has like it's Alan Dyer's one of his images. He's one of the instructors there for the Aurora program. There's a series of programs that you can take. Just anyone can sign up for them, and learning vacations is what they're called. So he took one of his images. We took that and printed it onto a buff, and then it's like got
Nice.
polar
Oh, cool.
stuff inside.
Those are so handy up here.
Yeah.
We call them, I don't know, neckies, but it was like the
See, I've honestly
insulate.
never known them as buffs before either.
Yeah.
It's always
But
been normal.
they save you, man. I frostbit my nose a few times this winter just from being on the sled.
Yeah.
But having those neckies, they make a world of
Yeah.
difference.
And skidooing, you always have two neck warmers.
Yeah.
You know, you have one that goes inside, like underneath everything, and
One that
covers
gets
up
wet.
right here.
Yeah.
And then you have one that goes like over top everything and like seals it all off.
Yeah.
And then that one usually covers the nose as well too.
The hardest is breathing, then your sledding goggles fog up.
Yeah.
But it's worth it rather than having a frostbitten face.
Yeah.
Even pulling your hood and getting the parka trim, covering your face, it makes a world of difference with heat retention.
Like even this this little thin one makes a diff.
Yeah.
It just kind of keeps a lot of heat in.
Yeah, mine, they'd freeze to like to shape your face because you're pinching around your nose and they just turn to a block of ice. I tried a beard this winter. I figured that would help. And you couldn't even open your mouth anymore. Like if I poured tea, I had to pour it on my face first just so I could take a drink out of it.
That being said, I hear the beards are helpful.
I got rid of it. It was too much of I literally had so much ice every day. You're clawing at it, trying to get...
Everyone I know in town, all the guys anyway, you know, just if they can, they will grow the winter beard.
Yeah. Well, we were
That
cutting trail, so you're
breathing
breathing heavy and, oh man, it's just
that would
terrible.
do it.
Yeah, so it didn't last.
Sounds
too
like
long.
you found enough work for yourself last winter.
Oh yeah, last winter was. I mean, well, I was out of the cabin for the whole time, and I was out there most of it by myself. But there's stuff to do every day, all day. Like I mean, you get lots of reading and things done too, but there's no time where you're just twiddling your thumbs out there. It's pretty easy to keep moving, and
if anything else, you can always gather firewood.
yeah, well, and there's always you always need that. There's lots of times I'd have a big pile, and I'd be so happy because it took me a few days to gather up all the wood, and then you just start to burn it, and a couple days go by, and you're like, God, I gotta get out and stock up, because you don't want to run out. You got to make sure you got extra. Yeah, that was always something on my mind.
Yeah. Get as much as you think you need, then get twice that.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Because then we had like that blizzard and stuff, and there's a few others out there where now you can't get wood for a while, so you got to be planning on, maybe I can't get wood for a week or week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever. And
I was so lucky with that blizzard. I flew out just like a couple days before it, like not even a week.
Really?
Yeah, I was on reading week for university, so if that hit while I was here,
stranded.
I would have been missing a lot of work.
Yeah.
Your family might have been happy to have had you here to shovel.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. I ended up shoveling it when I got back in May, though, still.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't cleaned up the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I shoveled that out.
It was so much snow. I came to town for that storm. We got there here the night it started, and
oh my God.
There's nothing like it. 120k winds, and you just couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I went out a couple times. I got all my gear on, everything, and cover up, and you go out and you're walking into the wind, like just leaning into it, and you're falling, or climb up a hill and you can't see anything, and you just fall off an edge 5 feet and land in more snow, and
you feel like there should be some epic background music playing.
Yeah, you feel like you're on the moon.
Yeah.
Did you get the sweatshirt?
No, what sweatshirt?
I survived the...
No, I didn't see it. I've seen some of the seawall hats around town that they made for that. Those are kind of cool.
Well, they made hats for that?
Yeah.
The murals?
Yeah. I think Alex was selling them. I think he still has some. Yeah, they're kind of cool hats. Yeah, the seawalls, we've had a lot of people posting pictures of them up on the forum.
The Churchill bulletin board?
Yeah. And like on our message board here for Explore, a lot of people posting them up. They're really cool.
Yeah, I love those murals. They're so nice.
Well, I'm wondering if we should go towards the port now. Sometimes we have better luck over there. It just seems like it's died right down.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any whales anywhere near here.
And we might get a little break. Cape Mary is going to block a little bit of wind from us.
Oh, thank God. Maybe I'll be able to open my hand.
Yeah.
I can get it like that comfortably, but further than that, it's gonna be a challenge. Like it's gonna be that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, everything's locked up, all the joints.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
It's funny right now because if you touch the water will actually feel warm.
The water does feel warm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling soon my hand's going to be getting to the point where I have no grip, and it's just like, if I actually try to do anything with my hand, it'll be really ineffectual. You know how like when you're out in the cold for so long and then you can't even unzip your jacket afterwards because your hands just, you can't get the gripping strength to pull the zipper?
To grab it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a nerve in your face, I was reading, I can't remember what it's called, and that's part of the reason why when that makes contact with cold, that constricts the vessels in your extremities, and that's part of the reason.
Face.
Yeah.
Oh,
part of the reason
that's interesting.
Why your feet and your hands and things start to get chilly, because those blood vessels are choking off.
Oh, my neck. Northwest Mounted Police grave.
The picket fence
Yeah.
around it?
I didn't know until Heather was out too that the fence up there, that's all Sloop Cove, like where they have the rings and stuff. And
That it is.
we talked, well, she gave me more info than I knew, but about the isostatic rebound, I think that's so crazy here.
Yeah.
She said, 300 meters is how deep it was compressed, and it was averaging 3 meters every century, and now it's down to like 1 or a little less than 1.
It's around 1 to 40 centimeters, depending on the area, because erosion is a factor as well, due to water. But yeah, it's usually around a meter or so.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Well,
and then that was connected to, or part of one of the theories as to why we have those pockets of less gravity in Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
Is due to the isostatic rebound.
Isn't Hudson Bay one of the world's largest gravitational anomalies because of stuff like that? Like that pockets of less gravity?
Yeah, I don't know if it's one, like I know that it's it. I don't know if there's other spots in the world that are like it or not, but it makes sense though, because actually one thing I wanted to mention before when I talked about it was, so gravity is, they know it has to do with mass, right? The larger the object or the more mass, then the larger the gravitational pull. Yeah, and one of the things they thought, those diamond mines in Africa, being, like, if you see photos of them, they're just the craziest, it's insane, it's not even, you can barely believe it. But they thought that flying a helicopter over it, that there'd be less gravity over that hole, just because it's such a large area, that the chopper would have, I think they proved it to be false, but I think that was the reasoning behind it, was they just removed so much mass that there'd be a weird pocket of less gravity there.
Yeah, that'd be really weird. Yeah, the isostatic rebound, like, Eskimo Point, that used to be Eskimo Island.
Yeah.
Even it's like 40 years ago, you could drive a boat between Eskimo Point and the rest of the peninsula, like on a high tide.
Yeah, people said in town, they're like, I remember when we used to drive through there. It's crazy.
Now you can't even get close to driving through there.
I was wondering if you can, do you know Jim Baldwin with Tundra Buggy, Frontiers?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, he said he'd like to do a study on the lichen here, on like research with, like you see the rocks, all that orange lichen. And I was wondering if you can determine how fast the rebound is just based off of the growth.
Oh, yeah. I actually thought about that.
Because right on shoreline, say at Mount Ward there, it's not, the lichen's not going to grow in the water, but maybe as it goes up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you think about it, areas like up north, like near Iqaluit, the lichen communities are a lot more well developed on the rocks than here. Like, compared to Iqaluit, we have almost no lichen. They have like thick mats on the rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you wouldn't think, an area further north would have more plant growth on their rocks.
Especially something as slow growing as lichen.
Yeah, but they do, and so, I was thinking, is it that rebound coming out of the water, so we've actually had less time to grow here than they've had?
Because you could see the beach ridge, everybody, all the trappers and all the people that spend time out west of here, like they would talk, when did you hit the beach ridge, or did you get to the beach ridge yet, or that kind of stuff. And that's where the shoreline used to be. The beach ridge was where the water used to lead up to that point, and then after you get past there, the trees starting to thicken up, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many kilometers the beach ridge is out, but it's quite a ways outside of town.
Interesting waves suddenly.
One whale back there.
Oh, we just moved through the somewhat sheltered area, didn't we?
What's that?
The waves changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that too.